So I've just scraped down the wall, guys. Again, if it's a plasterboard wall and that's all you're doing, you might not need to scrape it down, but we have our eye on the ceiling here and floated walls and put beads and stuff on, so there was some drips. And secondly, on when you're plastering the stud wall in, you don't want to get all your scrims on. This stuff is supposed to be sticky, but sometimes they're very sticky. And thirdly thing is, you may want to check all your screws before you mix and stuff, just make sure they're actually not too proud and you're going to get over them. But so, how to plaster the stud wall in, guys. You have your plaster, and I'm right-handed. I always start top left, work along the top, and then I pull the bottom in. Again, left to right. Normally what I would actually do is cover all the screws and all first. So, just quickly. Actually, these are tapered boards, so there is a wee bit more on them. Try to make sure that's well sunk in. And that's just to show you how well tapered they are. And what that scrim tape does, guys, is help stop the chances of cracking. Obviously, walls can still crack. It doesn't matter if you use paper tape or scrim tape. There's still a possibility that they can crack. So, again, just nice and neat. Try and keep the back of your child clean, otherwise you'll get that there dirty stuff on the top. Yeah. You're giving yourself more work to do. You might find that these joints pull in a wee bit more. Again, the neater you put this coat on, the easier everything will be. And kind of going a bit quicker than I would if it just had one wall to do. So I'm planning on putting on a few more things here. So technically there will be 3 coats over the scrim. We always 2 coat plasterboard, guys. And your total thickness will work out about 3 mil. So, not a massive coat of stuff. So you're talking about 2 mil coat at the start here, 1 or 2 mil coat at the start, and then another 1 or 2 mil second coat. So just it'll work out about 3 millimeters. Even if you want to say 1.5 and 1.5, don't really. I try to go pretty even when I'm doing it. And again, similar to the top, guys, something I never really showed you, but when you're pulling out from your corner, like so, to get it all covered, it's important to also go up on it so that you're not just creating a bump, you know what I mean? So if you go both directions on it, you're taking out any bad shapes. Got it a wee bit awkward here to have a light switch to work around. Not really much we can do about it. if you're a beginner, and look out for them stones. Always pick them out, see the big scrape. You pick them out as you go. Especially as they will be more of a nuisance towards the end. Something I actually haven't done too well here. I should have probably brushed this floor again before I started this wall, because you can hit the ground and drag dirt up. So, yeah. But yeah, what I was saying there was, obviously, if you're watching this, you're probably more of a beginner. Apprentice, somebody picking the trade up. Or a DIY. You're looking to maybe learn how to do the wall out your garage or something, you know, and up in your loft, some storage rooms. So you might want to mix one mix for the first coat for doing all your skims and your first coat here, what I'm doing now, and then you want to make another one, let that pull in 10-15 minutes maybe, and go mix yourself another wee drop and second coat it. I usually put a wee bit more on with my first coat than I do with the second coat, and what that means is basically, you know, if it took you a yellow bucket full of plaster to first coat, you probably only need slightly less than a half a yellow next time. Sort of works out. Whenever you, most times I'll say, if it took you 2 buckets to coat the wall, it'll take you a bucket to second coat. Again, that kind of goes to show that the first coat probably was 2mm and the second coat was 1mm thick. But yeah, just as neat as you can, guys. Again, if you wanted to go around and trowel that all in and flatten it in, you can go ahead and do that just before you do your second coat, that's fine. If there's any scrims coming through like that, guys, you want to make sure you get them buried in. But basically that's the first coat, that's the preparation and the first coat that you want to be doing. And like I said, flatten down on all the corners as well. Very important. After every pass, keep the trowel clean, both sides, front and back. And again, try and do it in the bucket so you're keeping the place clean and dry. So, on to the second coat, guys. Again, the consistency is really up to yourselves. The stuff, it's not tight, but it's not too loose either. You know, it's nice, spreadable. Most people say make it like peanut butter, you know, but I don't think I'd want to taste this. It's not too nice, don't think you'll want to taste it either. So basically the second coat, guys, is the same as the first. And you want to pay attention, make sure that you do fill everything out properly in all the corners. Again, what I'm showing you there is I put it up and down and left to right. So most times I put it on, I go up and down, like so, pulling it down from the angle. But then I'll strike across and that'll take out any bad shapes. Very important to try and cover the whole wall with the second coat, otherwise you'll have big dry patches. And as you can probably see from this clip compared to the previous clip, is that I've got like quarter of the wall done with one hot fill. You will find second coats take a lot less stuff and across again. And as you can see, guys, I'm just trying to take out as many lines as possible. This trowel's not even fully broken, so this one was the one that did all the cement work for me in here and bead and whatever. So that's the way I always try and have a floating trowel ready to get broken. Again, you might not need to scrim your corners and stuff. If you're only doing the one wall, you might just want to offer the scrim up and not wrap it round. But obviously this wall's going to be getting skimmed as well. Just using a wee crate as a hot up. Have a downstairs as well. And the ladder. So you can see this sort of angle I'm using on the chop, guys. You know, just tilting it so that any stuff gets pushed that road. Where I'm working away from the finished sort of area. But yeah, I think these are maybe get a good idea of how to coat it. You can see them wee holes there. I think you can see them right now. Just to make sure you get them filled, guys. Otherwise, trowel up will be harder. And again, you can see how neat this trowel is leaving it, and it's still not really fully broken in, but it's really about pressure. Not putting too much pressure on. I'm just trying to leave stuff to the other side. After every pass, keep the trowel clean, both sides. On to the first trowel here, guys. You can see still quite wet. Fingers are making quite an impact. Probably left it. It's cold today, so this probably has set 15-20 minutes most. So with your clean water, your clean trowel, you want to just clean your angle first. Straight across. Doesn't matter if you dig in a wee bit much. And then you can use what I call a wee tosser brush, a wee corner brush, just to help clean that as you go. But this one's quite fine as well. And again, give that a wee clean as well, guys. That'll help when you're doing that other one. So now you're just trying to flatten everything in. This is really just a flattening. You don't need much water for this. As I showed you, the wall's quite wet still. So, again, you just try to iron out all the lines that you've left, especially if you're new to this. You probably have a brand new trowel, which will be leaving these. So that's what you're trying to get out. And fill out any holes. And again, if you do have any big bumps, you want to be correcting them and get them ironed in flat. Just go ahead, guys, and clean them corners too. It's a bit hard for me because I've just stuck that bead on and it's still wet in that corner. But hopefully you're doing something that's maybe a bit handier there. You'll just have the wire and any stones, very important, get them out now. Right, so basically with the top, guys, I was showing you there, it is most important to get that angle nice and clean. That's the thing you're going to be looking at and making sure it's nice and straight. And again, remember what I was saying, trowel it that way and that way. Most times I actually pull it down first and then just strike across it, and you'll get a good feel of fill in any wee holes you do dig out when you're cleaning the angle. But you'll get a good feel of how straight everything is. If there's a bump, you'll be sort of going over at this stage. Okay, just ironing everything out and fill it in as you go. And that's the same the whole way along. I'll just show you the bottom. I've already pulled that angle out somewhat, but again, you just want to trowel up and out, guys. I've already pulled it out, so trowel up's grand. You can see how I'm angling the trowel so that anything is being left on that side. Any hing, any plaster, the excess plaster is being pushed to the part of the wall where you have them. And again, you're not trying to pull loads off, like that's all I took off this, what, 2/3 of the whole wall, 3/4. I've taken nothing off and I'm putting that back on as I go. So I'm using that excess to fill in It helps smooth it out. Guys, that's the flattening in section. And again, try not to touch the floor. I have actually brushed this floor since, but if you are going to brush the floor, make sure it's good and clean so that you can go right down and you're not afraid to pull up any stones because you've cleaned that angle so well on the floor. But yeah, so that's the flattening part of the video. Next we're going to be a wet trowel, probably another wet trowel, maybe a third wet trowel, and possibly a wee shine, and that will be it all done. But we'll get to them sections shortly. Right, so on to really the first wet trowel, and maybe another two after this. So again, with your clean water, clean your angle, and trowel away at it. And this time you might need a tiny bit of water added. Again, you can use a spray bottle as well. Some people prefer that. I think they're very messy. Them ones, they have to water all over the house or something. You know? But no, spray bottle's fine. The brush is good too, guys. What I like about brush is that you can clean angles. So and get them nice and tidy. So very important this trowel now that you don't leave any marks or any holes, otherwise it's going to be very difficult to get them out. Every pass is more important than the last one, and any scores will be harder to rectify because the stuff is getting weaker as you're diluting it, so you don't want to be having any holes or anything. I'll just pull this corner out here. Quite awkward doing this light here. I want to hit it, chip the power again. So let's be away from it now. Again, I'm going to pull the corner out the way first and then come up it. And the bottom's the same, guys. Chase your water away, look. Try and catch it before it hits the floor. And you're always taking your water from left to right then. You can see it's got the same angle of the trowel that way because I'm forcing the water to the part of the wall that I haven't done, and I'm opening up the trowel a bit more because I'm now putting a wee bit more pressure on the wall and a wee bit more cutting. But let me just show you, that's all that's on the trowel from half the wall being troweled, and that's all what will be on the trowel because I'm not trying to cut things off really, as the wall should be flat from the previous trowel. But yeah, again, all it is just continue on, guys. Lift this up a wee bit further here. But you have to raid along the top. I do tend to bring my bottom with me at times. And you can, if the angle's a bit dirty and you have a nice wee small brush, you can just clean it after. If you've left. That's why it's very important to keep the trowel clean, because it will, if the back of the trowel is dirty, I'll just show you. I'll try and get the back of the trowel dirty. So if you have stuff in the back of your trowel and your trowel on the top, that's what happens. You're going to leave them drips. You're going to deposit them drips. So that's why it's very important to keep the back of that trowel clean, and then you won't have that issue. Sometimes it's the wee small things, guys, that really push on your plastering and make it that much better, that much easier. We're always improving and learning, even myself. And I have have a million miles to go yet till I'm where I need to be. But yeah, you just continue like that, guys, and then bring your bottom into the corner. Something you might struggle with is if you have too much water, try to reduce your water by the time you get to here, so when you're pulling it off here, that you're actually, you know, you've no water, you've no puddle left on the wall or the floor. Very important. After every pass, keep the trowel clean, both sides. Right, so on to the second wet trowel here. Again, pretty much the exact same as the first wet trowel. It's all about the angle, keeping the angle nice and clean. Trowel down. It's not just so as important this time to be trowel both ways, as this wall's not going anywhere at this stage. And again, any slight imperfections can be tidied up and filled in. The wall's pretty much shaped up at this stage, and this trowel will more or less finish it. Sort of the third trowel, but what I will do is once it just starts turning a wee bit more, or if more moisture comes out of it, I'll probably give it a wee run with a flexi trowel just to help finish it up and make sure that it's nice and neat. Just always take your time around the awkward bits, guys, so that you get them nice and tidy. Especially at this stage, you can't afford to leave anything at this stage because that stuff is very, very weak, so that not set just as strong anymore. This is what they call the fat, and I've heard lots of different reasons why they call it the fat. One, that it used to actually be animal fat, and then obviously two, you know, you're trimming down the wall slightly and taking the fat off. So yeah, well, apparently it used to be, I think pig fat used to be added to the plaster to give it a creamy, workable consistency. But I think for reasons that I just took it out. I don't use it anymore. But again, once you put your bottom, guys, top left all the way along and then top right. Or you can do what I'm doing, you can take a section and then you can catch your water as you go. Again, you want clean water. You can, most people will prefer to flick the water on. It's actually better to flick up, so you're not flicking it down onto the ground. Especially if you have carpet, this is okay for sanding cement floors. And again, I'm opening up my trowel more so I'm getting a bigger angle of cutting, and I'm still also feeding that water to the part of the wall that I haven't finished it. So as you can see, it's coming in quite well. Don't be afraid if you miss a wee bit to come on over and just take it away with you again, guys. Just start from the side that isn't finished and you can take it back away. But really starting to pull in there. Did leave it about 30 minutes there and had a sandwich. It is cold in here. It's actually a warm day outside, but it seems very, very cold in here, which would tell me the insulation in this room is good. But I think this room's also in a lot of shade as well. But insulation will keep cold in as well as heat, guys. We'll trap whatever's there in. So just want to keep a mind on as well as your temperatures of how things are going to set in the background. But yeah, that's how you give it a good second trial, guys, and maybe give us another one quick run, the Superflex, a bit of a wet one, and then that'll do 100%. Very important. After every pass, keep the trowel clean, both sides, front and back. And again, try and do it above it so last trowel, guys. and there's no moisture in the wall. Well, very, very little. As you can see, the dust on my hand's still there, and walls. This could be finished. You could walk away, but I do like just giving it a wee quick shine, as we would say, basically. But again, just all this is for me is checking the angles are clean, and it's just really the last inspection before you walk away from the wall. And it does actually leave it a wee bit smoother and finer. And again, very, very little water, and clean water as well. And it's just making sure all the angles are nice and clean and sharp. Anything on the ceiling, you can always clean it off too. And it's the same routine, guys. Top left, right across, and bottom left. This is the fastest trowel really, because the wall, like I say, more or less finished. This is just a wee bit of icing on the cake. Now, most times I would do the opposites first, and that means any splats that you get on, you can get off. But again, this is a tutorial for beginners, so you probably aren't going to be doing too many walls in one day anyway. But again, just these flexi trowels, I tend to keep this a bit flatter on the wall than you're not trying to cut too much. This can go a bit flatter, guys, because it will give you that flex. But yeah, that's it. You can also walk it left to right as well. But that's it. Clean your angle, clean your side angle, bring the whole wall in. That's how you plaster a wall. Very important. After every pass, keep the trowel clean, both sides, front and back. And again, try and do it in the bucket so you're keeping the place clean and dry.